How's it going, everybody? Anthony with Dude Ranting. If you like what I have to say or I offend you, then I'm doing my job. So with all the political stuff going on right now, the Democratic primaries trying to decide who they want to elect, there's a lot of political chatter and back and forth about what they want to do, and then this side versus that side. The simple fact that you only get to hear the Democrat or the Republican side is kind of ridiculous because they're both full of shit and hate you, but I digress. Let's move on. So, two of the things that keep popping up and I keep hearing about lately, well, two that I've dove into anyway, you hear about a lot of stuff. The two I've been looking at recently, though, minimum wage and student loan debt. Now, I'm looking into this because I find it really hard to believe and hard to fathom that in a country as prosperous as the U.S., we can't do simple things for our people in this country that other less prosperous nations can do, and simply it's just part of what they do and they take it for granted. Now, minimum wage. Anybody know what the minimum wage is? I do. It's $7.25 an hour. It was last adjusted in 2009. Why is minimum wage brought up? Because a lot of the Democratic people are saying, we're going to do a $15 an hour minimum wage. All right. Debate on this ranges anywhere from it'll fix all of the problems that people can earn a living wage and they'll spend the money, it'll fix the economy and do this, all the way to it'll simply crash the economy and we'll all be fucked in a few years. So, quick overview on minimum wage. If minimum wage were to keep up with inflation, it would be roughly $11 an hour. Some places say 10, some places say 12. Let's split the difference. We'll say $11 an hour is what minimum wage would need to be to keep up with inflation. Now, they say there's a production value that each worker's wage has gone up with the amount of production, and that is somewhere around $19 an hour. So $7.25 is the best we can do, and just inflation alone should be $11, and keeping up with production values is $19. I think we can do better. I think we can afford to give the people at least that $10 to $11, keep up with inflation. Why don't we make it that? Is it really going to crash that many places? I don't think so. I think there would be some, and some people would lose their jobs for sure. But the vast majority of businesses would just adapt. Other countries have $15 minimum wage, $20 minimum wages, and their economies do fine. And the places just deal with it and figured out ways to maintain. I think we could do it here in a nation as big as us, as prosperous as us. We can do it. I promise you. The other one, student loan debt. Now, student loan debt is going ballistic, and there's a lot of people saying, we're going to forgive all student loan debt. Now, I don't necessarily think forgiving all student loan debt's the answer, but I got a couple ideas that might work here. I got some notes over here. So college rates have gone up 100% since 2001, and they are increasing 8 times faster than wages. For a 4-year public college, 1 year of schooling is about $19,000 a year. At a 4-year private, 1 year is about $40,000. Now, people are getting their SSI checks garnished because they owe student loan debt. Now, what can we do as a nation to mitigate all of this and make it work? Well, first thing we can do is we can cap how much a college can charge. Now, lots of other countries do this. The college can only charge X amount per year. I don't know what the number is, fill in the blank. We'd have to figure that out. Another thing I think we can do in this country that other countries seem to be able to do and take for granted is we start a repayment plan. 15, 20 years is your repayment plan. When you graduate, that starts. You don't owe anything on that till you're making a certain number of years. Let's say as soon as you're making $28,000, $29,000, $30,000 a year, then you start repaying that debt. Now, if we've capped how much colleges can charge, the debt's not going to be that high at the end of everything. And if you have a few years till you're making that, you can probably still pay most of it back. After that 15, 20 years, whatever you want it to be, whatever's left over, we write off. That seems kind of crazy to a lot of people. And they go, that'll crash the economy too. No, it probably won't. We spend billions of dollars on toilet seats for the military. We spend billions of dollars in other countries screwing their governments over, then rebuilding it. We can't rebuild our own cities, but that's a story for another day. I can do a whole rant on that. So I think a nation as good as us, as prosperous as us, and supposedly caring about the people as much as us can do better than a $7.25 minimum wage and raping kids who are 18 and don't even know shit about shit on college debt. I'm Anthony, Dude Ranting.